The underperforming Snake Eyes. Let's talk about it. You went to go see it, right?
I did, yes. I saw this in Dolby Cinema. Shout out the real color black, baby.
Yo,
Contrast.
I saw it old and real, the Dolby Cinema, and I was like, oh, I love this contrast, man. It's so much more realistic. It's so great.
Yeah. So I saw Snake Eyes last week, and this is obviously it's Snake Eyes GI Joe Origins. This is the reboot of the GI Joe film franchise. Of course, there were two GI Joe movies around 2010. The Rock in the second one, Channing Tatum in the first. Paramount movies, conjunction with Hasbro, of course, spun off from the famous long-running toy. But of course, there are also GI Joe comics and animated shows, and GI Joe. It's a franchise. And those movies in 2010, they were financially profitable, but not exactly like big hits. I think they made like the $300 to $400 million range. And this Snake Eyes movie, notably, is a lot cheaper than those movies. It's like 85 million, which is not cheap, but a lot cheaper than those movies, which were like 150 million plus budgets. And despite that, Snake Eyes definitely underwhelmed at the box office today or this past weekend, making like less than 15 million, and might not bode super well for the future of this. But I actually would like to see Paramount give it another go, because despite there are noticeable flaws with Snake Eyes, but there's a lot of like really likable qualities to it somehow. Like,
Hmm.
I'm surprised how much I actually liked it. Like, I thought it's a lot of fun. And when it's not trying to be like a stealth, not even stealth, not even trying to be like a second tier GI Joe franchise introduction, and it's
Uh-huh.
just being more of like a ninja character movie, it's really good. And when the GI Joe stuff kind of comes in towards the end, it's like, this isn't quite as fun as before. Like you can see on the screen, you have Samara Weaving is in the movie as Scarlet, one of the famous GI Joe characters, but she's very much just like an ancillary character there to establish the GI Joes exist. And at the end, the GI Joes will want Snake Eyes to join them in case you thought that wasn't gonna happen or something. But
Yeah.
like, for the sake of the movie, it's like, we just didn't really need that. That could have been like a post credit scene, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, and I think the reason it works as a character study is really our two leads. You have Henry Golding, of course, as Snake Eyes. Notably, this is how he becomes Snake Eyes, and he does speak and do everything. Snake Eyes, the character famous for being a mute, but we're not to the mute part yet, which is good for the movie, of course. And I think Henry Golding is like really, really effective at it. Like, he just, he has a charisma, he has a star quality that we've known since Crazy Rich Asians. But
Hmm.
I liked him here. And then his foil, the character that'll become Storm Shadow, again, in case you didn't see that coming, is played by Andrew Koji. And Andrew Koji is famous for being the lead of Cinemax's show Warrior, which is a Bruce Lee inspired martial arts show that'll now be shifting to HBO Max for its next season. And Golding and Koji are really awesome, and like their character dynamic as Koji uh, takes Snake Eyes to Japan into his clan and teaches him like their ways and like builds up his like ninja abilities and stuff. It's really good stuff, and I really liked it. I think the key problem with this movie is the action isn't that good, and
What?
it's like kind of
How?
baffling that it's not that good, right? Uh,
Out of
it's
all
just
things, the action
yeah,
not being good.
yeah. So this is directed by Robert
Zelensky.
Schwentke. Yeah, who does not have an impressive Hollywood CV. Yeah, it's like Divergent, bunch of other stuff, nothing anyone really likes. And he just clearly was out of his depth when it came to filming this action. It's so much cutting, it's so much shaky cam, and not even good shaky cam. And it's just disappointing, because I think the costume design, I think the set design for the Arashikage clan compound where they're doing a lot of the ninja training and stuff, it's fucking gorgeous. They actually shot a lot of this in Japan, and I think that goes a long way. It looks awesome. But the action, like whenever they actually do any like big fighting, it's like it's just bland. And
Hmm.
in the age of Chad Stahelski and David Leitch,
I was gonna say.
you need to have punched up action, or at least it doesn't need to be like amazing per se, but it needs to be more coherent than this anyway. And now just a big disappointment. And like there's even meta disappointment, right? Because you have Andrew Koji, of course, the star of Warrior, but also as a hard master, one of the Joe characters, uh, is played by Iwo Uwais, who is Rama from the Raid movies, aka one of the most prolific stuntmen actors there is right now. Remember how much we enjoyed uh, Joe Taslim's abilities as Sub Zero in Mortal Kombat?
Hmm.
Again, another Raid alum, because
Yep.
it elevates the film. But when you get the hard master scenes, it's like cut, 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 and it's like Iko, he's so fucking good at like commanding that kind of like real life stunt work, and the movie just doesn't let him do it. It was really lame. And like I said, once the more overt like GI Joe universe stuff pops in towards the end of the second act, and Snake Eyes gets a little muddled, gets a little like predictable franchise stuff. But I think there was enough bones to this movie. Again, normal franchise caveats here, like per the standard. Like I thought there was enough like actual like effective and good dramatic stuff that investing in the sequel has potential, but might not be looking so good after this poor box office.
Uh, that is really baffling. There's so many just like mid-tier action movies that are made to not even get someone that can coordinate like just like adequate action is very strange.
Yeah.
I wanted to circle back real quick to Golding, right? So just looking through his filmography here, Crazy Rich Asians was like his first like role almost. And then he's in The Simple Favor playing like
Mm,
like the boyfriend. We
yes.
saw him in Last Christmas the next year and The
Hmm.
Gentleman.
Hmm.
um this is his first time really like leading a movie. Do you feel like he's kind of got the chops to maybe continue to move into those the like leading man role?
I do. Yeah, I do, because the Snake Eyes character in this film is largely driven by like personal vengeance,
Mhm.
and it's kind of like a singular motivation. But Golding still, I think, has like a screen quality to him. And I also could like, I think some reviewers know this. It's like Golding, not the worst pick for James Bond either. Like he has some
Mm,
debonair qualities as well. So
that'd
yeah,
be a
I
really
like
good
him.
look for him. I'm looking. His calendar isn't filled up too much. He has a voice role in 2023, and he's in Persuasion. That's alongside Dakota Johnson next year, the Jane Austen
Right.
adaptation, playing Mr. Elliot. So he's only got two movies on the docket here. It's looking like I'd almost like to see him do like an HBO miniseries where he's
Mm,
like the lead in
yeah.
some way. I feel like getting some like short TV screen time could be really good for him, but I like him a lot. He's incredibly charming. I think that James Bond pick is very interesting. Real quick, just sticking with James Bond, I saw this weekend a tweet where someone's like, why don't we ever consider Dev Patel to play James
Hmm.
Bond? I just wanted to hear your quick reaction to that.
Yeah, obviously that's coming up with the Green Knight, his next film coming out from A24 this Friday. I mean, Dev's a bit of a skinnier guy. Does he have the
Yeah,
physicality down? Because I love Dev Patel as an actor. He's awesome.
that was
It's
my
kind of
first
like
thought too.
it's kind of like the Riz Ahmed thoughts we've had in the past. It's like, does Riz have the physicality down? And actually, I was thinking about that since we talked about that. Riz Ahmed got fucking pretty swollen the night of when he was getting jacked in prison. So maybe Riz
A-
could do it, and maybe
And he
Dev
was,
could do it too. Yeah.
yeah,
There's a lot of talented male actors in England right now. There's a
there
lot of
are.
good options.
So I'm hoping, after we get the next Bond, that we can kind of get these rumors ramping up a little bit more. But if it's between,
Yeah.
Golding, Idris Elba, Dev Patel, and Riz
No, my
Ahmed,
pick though. My pick is Daniel Kaluuya.
I mean, if he would do it, yeah,
Yeah.
you get Daniel, and he's got the physicality. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
So, um, it would be really interesting. Almost, I don't know if this would ever actually work, but to do like an interesting James Bond where they were doing like flashbacks, and it's like old James Bond is Idris Elba and young James Bond is Daniel Kaluuya or something like that. I feel like that could be a interesting thing. Get both of them in there, but